lover. Was that good?
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Welcome to the Alison Show. I wrote it down. I'm Alison, and this is a new weekly show, and it's all about having fun and feeling awesome. Our only goal is to help you feel a teeny tiny bit more awesome than you did before. I'm here with Julie.
You didn't see that coming, did you? You didn't see it coming.
I was just checking our notes.
Just waiting for my big entrance. I got a little nervous.
Listen, new year, new fun. I was sitting around doing my embroidery with my heated blanket, thinking about what do I want to do in the new year? How do I want to show up? How do I want to keep pulling on the ends of my hair?
You like to do that.
I do. Okay, so I was on my stories talking about the Bridgerton series, which we'll talk about in a minute, and I was like, you know what? It would be so fun to just do like a little show. And I was like, you can't, Allison, because you have a podcast and you talk all the time and you need to stop talking.
It's not a good thought. It's not a thought.
It's a terrible thought. That's not, it's not coming from my soul.
No.
That's, you say follow your heart, that's follow your inner critic.
Yeah.
And I was like, this brought me so much joy. This made me so happy talking about books and TV and just fun, quick fun things. And so then I was like, oh, I could do that. And then I was like, man, but what do I call it? What do I call it? Like, this is like a truth. I'm like, because I already have awesome with Allison.
What could ever be?
I can't think of it. I don't want it to be confusing. The Alison Show.
The Alison Show. Wow. It's like you already thought of it.
And let that be the life lesson, is that we often have a piece of hair out of place. And we often already have what we need. Meaning our own show that we gave ourselves about 10 years ago, but then acted like it was a joke, but it wasn't actually a joke because I did want to give myself my own show.
Because we're owning things now.
Owning things. And that's what we're like, we have so much fun. Why wouldn't we invite people over? And we always joke that the office space is our 2-bedroom apartment because we're the only people in it, which is why we're so close. We're basically married. We're quarantined in life together. And we just wanted to invite you guys in. So we're going to talk about what we're reading, what we're watching, answer some questions from you guys, maybe bring on some guests along the way, show you some dance moves occasionally if we feel like it. But I'm not a monkey. I don't have to perform.
No, we can do what we want. Stop. Get off us.
So defensive. And life aspirations, because I have a new life aspiration every week. So the first thing I wanted to talk about.
It's not a New Year thing.
No, it's not a New Year. So I was reading a ton of, and by reading I always mean Audible, and don't get snotty on me. Like, are you reading? That's reading. Get off me.
Do what you want.
Gosh.
They're really aggressive today.
The best part is like nobody is as aggressive as we are in our inner defensiveness.
I know.
And let that be a lesson to us. Gosh, everybody's nicer.
We're a little harsh to ourselves.
Ruthless.
Not to other people. We're very kind to other people.
Ruthless. Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. She is amazing. She wrote Women Who Run with Wolves. She's a Jungian, Carl Jung psychoanalyst, psychologist, and reading and listening to a ton of her audio programs. And so my new life aspiration is just to be the crone. So I'm going to explain what that means, because I have 2 fashion goals, and this answers some of the questions that were sent into us via the Instagram. And my fashion goals are always twofold: snotty teenager or rich old lady. And I feel like this is actually a pretty good because I think the teenagers are doing a lot of the turtlenecks.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix.
But it's also an old lady vibe with like the corduroy. But then the Reeboks are definite grandma vibes.
Yeah.
Steve Martin, grandma vibes. And that's just really what I'm trying to embody this week, or at least this week of 2021.
Yeah.
And so
take it a day at a time.
Where the archetype of the crone comes from is in Jungian psychology. There's a lot of archetypes, and for women there's the 3 archetypes of I distracted myself by my grotesqueness, but I'm a crone, so get off me. So our pet heads are falling off.
It's pretty dumb.
So there's the maiden, and then you're a mother, and then you're a crone.
Sounds great to me.
We can talk about how problematic that is later, but realize I've always identified with the crone. Like, I want to be Ursula. I want to be the evil queen. I've never looked at Ariel and been like, I want to be Ariel. I'm like, give me Ursula. Poor unfortunate souls.
Yeah.
And I think it's also in Jungian. I've been really into Carl Jung because of the shadow self and the dark self and embracing that, like that darkness, that dark side. And so that's my new life aspiration. And part of my new life aspiration / fashion is I decided I'm going to start wearing pins
On your turtleneck.
on my turtleneck.
I love that.
So these are really important life things.
So, like, what does it look like to be a crone, to embrace that?
I think it's really, truly, I think for me personally, it's embracing the shadow. And the shadow is this idea that the darkness is part of me and I don't need to fix it and correct it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
Love
Rather than like, oh, I had a negative thought, fix it, pounce on it. It's like, observe it, witness it, it's part of me. And I'm not saying, of course, that I'm not gonna like, you know, try not to be a terrible person, but also like, what is a terrible person?
It's all subjective.
I think we should quickly talk about Bridgerton, a discovery of witches, and then we'll get into Q&A.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Great.
I feel good about this.
I have a hard time keeping my Bridgerton comments brief
Okay.
because I've already watched
That's
the whole
what she
thing twice. I've watched the whole thing twice specifically so that I could rewatch the hot parts. Because that's who I am.
That's your crony truth.
Yeah. That really is the shadow that I'm embracing. Like, I have a very, like, gritty, dirty sense of humor, and I haven't been able to let that out. So, this is my chance.
Because the messages
the
the messages that I've been getting, everyone, it's for us.
So for me. It's for me.
Do you know what I've decided to call, like, 18 to, like, 30-year-old boys? Puppies.
Oh, yeah. I like
The
this
puppies.
trend.
You know who I love? That Williams fam.
Mm.
I was going through my saved Instagrams.
Is it all them?
It's like nails,
Nails and them.
nails, Williams fam, nails, nail and spo, Williams fam.
I support it.
Couple of shuffle dances because I can't do any of the shuffle
They're
dancing.
so good at it.
They're good at everything.
Yeah,
The
they
puppies. And so anyway, part of the crone. Okay, so Bridgerton, really quick. The reason why I keep talking about it is because during the summer, we read all 8 books.
Yeah.
So there's 8 books. The Bridgerton, it's a delightful Regency era romance bodice ripper tale. And each of the kids have their own
Love story.
And that's the 8 books. And the family is great. And it's PG, Jane Eyre PG, and then they're like married, sex scene. And
But then, like, very PG.
and it's different when you see it on camera.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And the
I
fun
feel like it's like Pride and Prejudice with hotness.
with hilt
We
womanhood.
get to see what Darcy did off stage. That's really what it's telling us. We all know what was happening.
So here's the thing. Like I was saying, read Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes for like psychology, self-discovery, empowerment, recommended all day long. Sometimes you're like, stop. I don't want to learn how to organize my life. I just want an escape. I want fantasy. Give me the illusion. Give me drag. Ugh. That's why I love drag so much. Like, give me the illusion, the fantasy. And Dolly Parton, the fantasy. Give it to me. It's like hard because I want to be like raw and natural, but I also like really
That's the good
glam.
balance.
That's
though.
the yin and the yang. Taoism.
I can't stay in the thick stuff all the time.
No. And that's really my podcast is the same goal, to help you feel a little more awesome than you did before. And it's really fun because I'm really fun. But that was the goal of the Alison Show is just light.
Yeah.
And also on my podcast, you can't see me do.
So they haven't even known what they're missing. Honk.
It's so good. Okay, wait, we have to get to the Q&A. So read Bridgerton, A Discovery of Witches is what I'm reading now. Julie's loving it too.
started.
It's a 3-part fantasy. We don't usually do fiction. That's why we're so excited. And it is helping me tap into my crone, my witchy power, my inner sorceress.
And it's beautiful.
It is
Beautiful.
so well written. Okay, so books TV are great. Be a crone. You're doing a good job. Honk. Okay, so we had some really good questions. I'll be taking these on Sunday nights. There's one about, do you make lists?
Oh yeah.
Or just be spontaneous? And we loved that question because this is something we really work on. And
we like to say that inspired order creates capacity, right?
Wait, it was inspired because it was order creates capacity.
That's what I like to say.
And then I was like, let me complicate it. Inspired order creates capacity.
Yeah.
Because order for the sake of order, of making lists and little to-do lists.
It can just become busy work and it can actually overwhelm you a lot more.
We are very anti-busy work.
And more.
And more.
And more.
We're all about
So I think that
less.
if you create...
Except in fashion.
So if you create like a baseline of meeting your needs that's sort of like habits and systems, then you have the space and the capacity to do other things because you're not using your energy, your focus, and your capacity to just constantly scramble in that frantic energy trying to like meet needs. And so it's just about creating some baselines of this always happens so that I have the capacity to do more.
How do you go about creating that baseline? And I think the way you go about creating that baseline is by noticing the thing that is constantly stressing you out. So it might be figuring out what to eat for dinner. It might be getting a workout in. And I was actually thinking about this morning in my bed. How posting on Instagram has become a real emotional hurdle for me over the last few years, where I'm like, I just want to do inspired, but I need to get it up consistently. But it's like I have all these stories and I get all emotional about it, whereas I'm not emotional about exercise. I don't have any stories about exercise. I set a time to exercise and I go exercise. And one of the reasons why it's easy for me to exercise is because I don't have any emotional baggage or stories around it. So if you're having a hard time creating an easy ordered system, it's probably because you have a lot of baggage and a lot of stories. You're attaching a lot of personal worth and meaning.
And making it mean a lot of
And
things.
making it mean. So another question that we had that I really, really liked was, how do I let go of deep-seated beliefs? And so I'm going to introduce this quick little game for you, and it's called the So What game.
So what?
So what? And this, I think, answers both. Ooh, this is good. This is good. We're so good at this. So what game is, I'm like, we don't know what your deep-seated belief. It's so deep-seated. We don't know what's causing you emotional problems other than like you're having an impossible time creating a system around it. That's a good way to see like a deep-seated belief. We flow it.
And then you beat yourself up because you're like, I just can't do this.
I just can't do it. I'm so worthless.
I'm such an idiot.
I just can't do it.
this.
Yes. Okay. So then you go, I just can't do this. So what? Well, if I can't do this, then listen to how you argue back. Listen to what you argue back with. So for me, it's like, I can't seem to like be a fun mom for my kids. I can't get this fun thing done. So what? Well, then I'm a bad mom. So what?
So what?
Well, then you shouldn't even have kids. You don't deserve. Oh, that's the deep-seated belief. That's the deep-seated belief. And then from the place of the loving, kind witness, rather than caught up in the whirlwind of the story, you tune in, you sit back, and you go, do I really believe that?
Right.
And then maybe you do. It's a deep-seated belief.
That's the deep-seated belief.
And then you can decide that you want to choose again. You want to choose a new belief, and then that's how you do it.
Yeah.
We have all the answers to all of life's questions. So let us know what you guys think in positive ways.
Positive
If you
feedback
think we have enough negative feedback.
We're a little fragile today. So
we don't need it from you.
Praise only in the comments, please. We're very open to feedback when it's praise.
We're open to positive, constructive, I liked this, and do more of it.
Do more.
And we don't want to hear anything else. So making careers on the internet was a good decision.
It was a really great
for both
decision
of us.
for both of us. Because we both handle it totally
Wait,
fine.
I think I'm gonna like it here. That's okay, I have it. We can talk about the problematic nature of Annie in the next episode.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Love you guys. I want to remind you this.
And she's done.
Hey, no, seriously, listen up. Only you can be you. And you're already as awesome as you need to be. You're doing a great job. I love you. I hope you feel a teeny tiny bit more awesome than you did before. Thanks, Julie.
Love you.